The city I call home, a bustling hub nestled in the heart of Alabama, is a place of stark contrasts. It's a concrete jungle, a sprawling metropolis carved out of the dense rural landscape that surrounds it. Our downtown core is a vibrant, chaotic ballet of traffic and commerce, a testament to human endeavor. Beyond this central nervous system lies the endless, uniform expanse of suburbia, a meticulously planned grid of residential and commercial zones. In this highly structured, man-made environment, the notion of encountering a creature of myth, a cryptid whispered about in hushed tones by hunters and folklorists, felt utterly preposterous. The wild, untamed world, the realm of such enigmatic beings, seemed a million miles away, a distant echo from a forgotten time. Yet, it was here, in this most unlikely of settings, that I had an experience that would forever shatter my perception of reality. The black cat, a creature of impossible size and otherworldly grace, first entered my life on a day that was otherwise unremarkable. I was in my car, inching along in a drive-through lane, lost in the mundane rhythm of a typical afternoon. My gaze drifted across the 6 lanes of relentless traffic, a river of steel and speed that separated me from a large, undeveloped hill. This hill, a rare patch of untamed green in the urban landscape, was crowned by a large, stately church, its steeple reaching towards the heavens. It was on the slope of this hill that I first saw it. At first, my mind registered it as a black cat, a stray perhaps, on a leisurely stroll. But something was wrong. The scale was all off. This was no ordinary feline. It was a colossal beast, a shadow brought to life, moving with a deliberate, predatory saunter that sent a shiver down my spine. The sheer size of it was breathtaking, dwarfing any domestic cat I had ever seen. It was as large as a panther, if not larger, a sleek, powerful silhouette against the green canvas of the hill. Its coat was the color of midnight, a deep, velvety black that seemed to absorb the very light around it. Each movement was a study in controlled power, a fluid, mesmerizing dance of muscle and sinew. It was a creature that belonged to the deep woods, to the heart of the wilderness, not to a grassy hill overlooking a busy suburban thoroughfare. The sight of it, so alien and out of place, held me captive, my mind struggling to process what my eyes were seeing. The creature, this magnificent black cat of impossible proportions, continued its journey up the hill, its movements a captivating blend of stealth and confidence. It moved with a purpose that was both unnerving and fascinating. The world around me, the cacophony of the city, the impatient honking of horns, the chatter from my car radio, all of it faded into a dull, distant hum. My entire being was focused on this enigmatic being, this living shadow that had materialized in the most mundane of settings. As it ascended the hill, its powerful muscles rippled beneath its glossy black coat. It was a creature of pure, unadulterated wildness, a living embodiment of the untamed spirit of nature. And then, it did something that defied all logic, something that would be forever seared into my memory. As it neared the crest of the hill, it encountered a tangle of fallen branches, a natural obstacle that would have given any ordinary creature pause. But this was no ordinary creature. In a motion that was both shockingly swift and eerily familiar, it rose up on its hind legs, its form momentarily silhouetted against the sky. For a fleeting moment, it stood bipedally, its posture uncannily human-like. It was a sight that was both awe-inspiring and deeply unsettling. It was a gesture that spoke of an intelligence, a level of physical prowess that was far beyond the realm of any known animal. It was a moment that blurred the lines between the animal and the human, between the natural and the supernatural. The black cat, now a towering bipedal figure, cleared the fallen branches with an effortless grace that was both beautiful and terrifying. It was a leap, a bound, a fluid, acrobatic movement that was more akin to a human athlete than any animal I had ever witnessed. It was a display of raw power and agility that left me breathless. The image of it, suspended in mid-air, its powerful hind legs propelling it over the obstacle, is a sight that will be forever etched in my mind. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated wonder, a glimpse into a world that I never knew existed. And then, just as quickly as it had risen, it landed back on all fours, its transition from bipedal to quadrupedal, seamless and silent. It was a movement that was so smooth, so natural, that it was almost as if it had been practicing it for a lifetime. It was a motion that spoke of a creature that was perfectly adapted to its environment, a creature that was the master of its own form. It was a moment that confirmed, beyond any doubt, that I was in the presence of something truly extraordinary, something that defied all attempts at rational explanation. The enigmatic black cat, having conquered the obstacle with an almost casual display of its incredible abilities, disappeared over the crest of the hill, its sleek black form swallowed by the horizon. It was gone as quickly as it had appeared, leaving me in a state of stunned silence. The world rushed back in, the sounds of the city once again filling my ears. But everything was different now. The world that I had known, the world that I had taken for granted, had been irrevocably altered. I was left with a profound sense of awe and a deep, unsettling sense of mystery. What was this creature? Where had it come from? And where was it going? These were questions that I knew would likely never be answered. For years, I tried to rationalize what I had seen. I told myself that it was a trick of the light, a figment of my imagination, a product of an overactive mind. I tried to bury the memory, to dismiss it as a momentary lapse in sanity. But the image of the black cat, its impossible size, its otherworldly grace, its effortless transition from 4 legs to 2, was a memory that refused to be forgotten. It was a memory that would haunt my waking thoughts and color my dreams. It was a memory that would forever change the way I looked at the world. For 2 long years, I kept the memory of the black cat locked away, a secret that I shared with no one. I was afraid of being ridiculed, of being dismissed as a lunatic. But the memory festered, a constant nagging presence in the back of my mind. And then, one day, the black cat, or at least a creature that bore an uncanny resemblance to it, made a dramatic reappearance in my life. This time, through the terrified eyes of my friends. They were visiting from out of town and had decided to go for a bike ride along the same highway where I had had my encounter. They were in a more rural, wooded section of the road, a place where the city gave way to the untamed wilderness. It was here, in this more fitting, yet no less terrifying setting, that they had their own encounter with the enigmatic black cat. They called me in a state of confused panic, their voices trembling with a mixture of fear and disbelief. They described a creature that was the stuff of nightmares, a creature that was both beautiful and terrifying, a creature that had defied all of their expectations of the natural world. My friends, their voices a torrent of frantic, overlapping sentences, recounted their encounter with the black cat in vivid, terrifying detail. They described how the creature, a massive, sleek, black beast, had darted out in front of their bikes, its sudden appearance a heart-stopping shock. It had moved with a speed and agility that was almost supernatural, its powerful form a blur of motion. They said that it was like seeing Bagheera, the Black Panther from the Jungle Book, come to life. But this was no cartoon character. This was a real, living, breathing creature. A creature that was far more terrifying than any animated villain. It had paid them no mind, its attention focused solely on its own mysterious purpose. It was as if they were nothing more than a minor inconvenience, a fleeting distraction in its path. And then, just as it had done for me 2 years earlier, it had risen up on its hind legs, its form once again transforming into something that was both animal and human. It had bounded into the woods, its powerful hind legs propelling it through the dense undergrowth with an effortless grace that was both awe-inspiring and deeply unsettling. The encounter had left them shaken to the core, their perception of the world, like mine, forever altered. The story my friends told, a story that so closely mirrored my own, was a validation of my own experience. It was a confirmation that I was not crazy, that what I had seen was real. The black cat, this creature of myth and legend, was not a figment of my imagination. It was a real, tangible being. A creature that was living and breathing in the shadows of our world. The realization was both a comfort and a source of deep unease. It was a comfort to know that I was not alone in my experience, that others had witnessed the same impossible creature, but it was also a source of deep unease to know that such a creature that defied all of our known categories of the natural world, was roaming the woods and hills of our community. It was a creature that was both a wonder and a terror, a creature that was a living embodiment of the unknown, and it was a creature that I knew, with a chilling certainty, that I would never forget. The black cat, a phantom of the urban wilderness, continued to occupy my thoughts long after my friend's terrifying encounter. Its image, a sleek, powerful silhouette against the backdrop of our mundane lives, was a constant reminder of the thin veil between the known and the unknown. I found myself scanning the edges of forests, peering into the shadows of overgrown lots, always half expecting to catch another glimpse of that impossible creature. The city, once a bastion of predictable order, now felt subtly altered, imbued with a hidden layer of mystery. Every rustle in the bushes, every fleeting shadow, held the potential to be the black cat, a silent, watchful presence in our midst. It was a disquieting feeling, a constant hum of unease that vibrated beneath the surface of my everyday life. The black cat had not just appeared in our world, it had fundamentally shifted our perception of it. It had opened a door to a realm of possibilities that we, in our modern, rational existence, had long since closed off. It was a living, breathing enigma, a creature that defied categorization, a cryptid that had chosen our metropolitan area as its hunting ground, or perhaps its playground. My friends, still reeling from their encounter, spoke of the black cat with a mixture of fear and grudging respect. They described the sheer power in its movements, the effortless way it had transitioned from a four-legged sprint to a bipedal bound. It was a creature of primal force, a being that moved with an ancient wisdom, unburdened by the constraints of human understanding. They wondered about its origins, its purpose, its very existence. Was it a genetic anomaly, a forgotten species, a creature from another dimension? The questions swirled, unanswered, leaving a void that was filled with speculation and a growing sense of wonder. The black cat had become a shared secret, a whispered legend among us, a testament to the fact that there were still mysteries in the world, things that science could not explain, things that defied logic and reason. It was a humbling realization, a stark reminder of the vastness of the unknown and the limitations of our own understanding. The black cat, in its silent, powerful presence, had become a symbol of that unknown, a dark, enigmatic guardian of the wild heart that still beat within our urban sprawl. I often found myself replaying the scene at the drive-thru, dissecting every detail of the black cat's appearance and movements. The way its fur seemed to absorb the light, making it an even deeper shade of black, almost a void in the landscape. The deliberate, almost regal way it sauntered across the hill, as if it owned the very ground it walked upon. The sheer audacity of its bipedal leap, a move that was so unexpected, so out of place, that it bordered on the surreal. It was a creature of contradictions, a being that was both animalistic and intelligent, wild and graceful, terrifying and beautiful. The memory of its eyes, though I couldn't discern their color from that distance, felt as if they held an ancient wisdom, a knowing gaze that saw beyond the superficiality of human existence. It was a creature that had witnessed the passage of time, the rise and fall of civilizations, the endless dance of life and death, and now it had chosen to reveal itself, however briefly, to a handful of unsuspecting humans in the heart of a modern city. The implications of such an encounter were staggering, a ripple effect that spread through my consciousness, challenging every preconceived notion I held about the natural world. The black cat, this elusive phantom, had become a silent observer in the tapestry of our lives. Its presence, though unseen, was felt in the subtle shifts in our conversations, the lingering glances towards the shadows, the unspoken questions that hung in the air. It was a constant, low-level hum of awareness, a reminder that we were not alone, that there were forces at play beyond our comprehension. The city, with its concrete and steel, its bustling crowds and endless traffic, suddenly felt less secure, less predictable. The wild, once relegated to distant forests and nature documentaries, had encroached upon our urban sanctuary, bringing with it a sense of primal mystery. The black cat was a living embodiment of that encroachment, a creature that blurred the lines between civilization and wilderness, between reality and myth. It was a creature that had chosen to exist on the fringes, a silent sentinel of the untamed, a dark, enigmatic shadow that danced on the edges of our perception. And in its silent dance, it had forever altered the rhythm of our lives, leaving us with a profound sense of wonder and a lingering chill of the unknown. The image of the black cat, leaping over the fallen branches with such effortless power, was a scene that played on an endless loop in my mind. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated defiance, a creature breaking free from the expected, shattering the boundaries of what we believed to be possible. The sheer muscularity of its hind legs, the way they propelled its massive frame upwards, was a testament to its incredible strength. It was a creature built for speed and agility, a predator of the highest order, yet it chose to move with a grace that was almost balletic. The way it landed, silently and perfectly balanced, spoke of a mastery over its own body that was truly astonishing. It was a creature that moved with an innate understanding of physics, a natural athlete that made even the most challenging obstacles seem trivial. The black cat was not just an animal, it was a force of nature, a living embodiment of power and precision, and the fact that it chose to display this power in such an unexpected, almost human-like way was what made the encounter so deeply unsettling. It was a creature that seemed to possess a consciousness, a level of awareness that transcended the typical animalistic instincts. It was a creature that made you question everything you thought you knew about the world, about life, about the very nature of existence. The black cat's fleeting appearance had left an indelible mark on my psyche. It was a constant, subtle pressure, a quiet whisper in the back of my mind that reminded me of the extraordinary lurking beneath the ordinary. I found myself more attuned to the natural world, noticing the subtle shifts in the wind, the rustle of leaves, the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. The city, once a source of comfort and familiarity, now felt like a thin veneer over something ancient and wild. The black cat had peeled back that veneer, revealing a glimpse of a world that was both terrifying and exhilarating. It was a world where the impossible was possible, where myths walked among us, where the boundaries of reality were far more fluid than we dared to imagine. The black cat was a living testament to that fluidity, a creature that defied classification, a cryptid that had chosen to make its presence known in the most unexpected of places. And in doing so, it had forever changed the way I perceived the world around me, leaving me with a sense of awe, a touch of fear, and an insatiable curiosity about the hidden wonders that still existed in our seemingly mundane world. The shared experience with my friends only solidified the reality of the black cat. Their terrified, yet awestruck, descriptions echoed my own, adding another layer of undeniable truth to the encounter. It wasn't just my imagination, it was a collective experience, a shared glimpse into the extraordinary. The black cat had become a point of connection between us, a secret bond forged in the crucible of the inexplicable. We would often find ourselves discussing it in hushed tones, exchanging theories, and marveling at the sheer improbability of it all. The black cat had become our personal cryptid, a creature that existed solely within the confines of our shared experience, yet felt as real and tangible as the pavement beneath our feet. It was a reminder that even in the most urbanized environments, the wild still held its sway, that nature, in its most enigmatic forms, could still surprise and astound us. The black cat, a silent, powerful enigma, had woven itself into the fabric of our lives, a dark thread in the tapestry of our memories, a constant source of wonder, and a lingering sense of the unknown.